US and investors happy with Tinubu's policies. David Greene, can you imagine? So US is happy with Tinubu's policies. Now we know that US is actually the enemy of Nigeria. With this floating of naira that is killing exchange rate, okay, is that now the dollar has doubled its value against naira because of useless policies, financial policies, fiscal policies, monetary policies that Tinubu and CBN is making. And coupled with that, the removal of fuel subsidy that has thrown Nigeria into a very serious turmoil, a US is saying they're happy with Tinubu's administration. I now see that truly, the West is a problem to Africa and to Nigeria. That is the truth. Because what is good? So you are benefiting from Tinubu's policy. Meanwhile, the citizens are suffering and in abject poverty, hunger, and penury. And you are happy with that. This is a bad news. David Greene, this is a bad news. And Nigerians should not take this thing lightly, because this shows that the West is ready to finish Africa and to finish Nigeria. Okay, the same way the US and UK is plundering Nigeria down, the same way Germany and France is also plundering Niger Republic down, including US. Oh boy. The charge d'affaires for the US Embassy in Nigeria, David Greene, has said that businesses and investors in the United States are satisfied with the policies of President Bola Tinubu's administration and will soon be investing more in the country. Can you imagine? Because they have succeeded in finishing the value of naira in Nigeria, and now the dollar has doubled its value against naira. So they spend less money and they make more investments in Nigeria, and then they take the money back home, capital flight, without the citizens of Nigeria enjoying or benefiting from their investment. Speaking during a virtual press briefing on the U.S. Department of Commerce led Global Diversity Export Initiative trade mission to South Africa, Ghana, and Nigeria, Greene said Nigeria will soon witness an increase in investment from the U.S. based on the structural changes that have been undertaken by the current administration in the country. According to him, there has been a renewed interest in Nigeria from the U.S. businesses and investors, as well as other international investors. Referring to the removal of the fuel subsidy and the floating of the naira exchange, Greene said U.S.-Nigeria bilateral relationship on the economic front is getting more assertive on the basis of the new policies. How? This is bad. This is, however, coming at a time President Tinubu is reported to be considering reintroducing a temporary fuel subsidy to alleviate the sufferings of many Nigerians who have been feeling the pangs of the subsidy removal. More U.S. investment. Expressing the satisfaction of the U.S. government and its businesses with Tinubu's administration, Greene said, "This is a very exciting time in the U.S.-Nigeria bilateral relationship, especially on the economic front, with the Tinubu's administration undertaking some of the structural changes that we think will create the foundation of a new influx of U.S. capital investment and increased trade with Nigeria. We are already seeing a renewed interest from U.S. businesses and investors, as well as other international investors, on the importance of Nigeria in Africa and to the U.S. interest in the continent," Greene said. "Nigeria is a home to Africa's largest democracy, population, and economy, and we really believe that Nigeria's economic growth will bring stability and prosperity not only for the Nigerian people, but also across West Africa. Nigeria is such an economic heavyweight through cross-border expansion and economic integration, including under the African Continental Free Trade Area. So the United States remains committed to an ensuring partnership with Nigeria, one centered on our aspiration for shared prosperity and mutual economic growth." Now, focus on Nigeria, South Africa, and Ghana. Speaking earlier, the U.S. Undersecretary of Commerce for International Trade, Morisa Lago, the U.S. trade mission in Africa, is focused on Nigeria, South Africa, and Ghana because of the huge economic opportunities in the countries. When we select the particular countries for this trade mission, we were looking to ensure that we included some of the largest economies on the African continent. We wanted to make sure that we selected countries whose economies had a strong presence in sectors that had strong prospects for U.S. companies, okay, where there was the ability to match up with the U.S. companies on the trade mission with companies in those countries, she said. Lago added that the trade mission in Africa was also influenced by some of the leading chamber business organizations that represent the Black community, the Native American Indian community, and the women-led businesses. She said the U.S. is already looking forward to future trade missions, and it would continue looking to visit other countries on the continent as well. Our mission is to support the competitiveness of U.S. businesses and their workers, and this includes micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, okay, and also tapping into the very strong African diaspora, which we have in the United States, and which is a source of our strength and also a point of pride, he said. So all this man is saying is that Nigeria is, they're happy with Nigerian policies that is killing Nigerians. What an error and what a shame. The leaders are hearing this and they don't feel anything about it. They think it's a good tie of it. The stupid idiots will be scared to read this good news. Is it a good news? It's not good news. And you are insulting obedience in this matter. Eh? This is not good news. The people are exploiting you and they're telling you to your face that they are happy exploiting you and you are calling it a good news. How else would you be ridiculed than this? Eh? How else would you know that you are being ridiculed more than these statements coming from this U.S. Shadow Secretary of Commerce? Eh? Evil will be following you, hence you're supporting evil. Exactly. USA are evil by advising Nigeria to remove subsidy without advising Nigeria to revamp their refineries and stop fuel importation, which they know that once fuel importation stops, definitely fuel subsidy is removed automatically. Yeah? You are an ignorant, even with adequate local refining capacity, as long as refineries in Nigeria buys crude oil at the international price. There won't be significant reduction in prices. How do you buy crude oil? Are you buying crude oil from abroad? This guy doesn't know what he's writing. Eh? The only saving grace will be on costs associated with shipping and handling, which is just a marginal component of the overall landing cost. What is this one talking about? Are you buying crude oil from abroad? You are selling your crude oil abroad and you are buying the product. Eh? This guy doesn't know what he's saying. So why shouldn't they be happy? Since it is favorable to them. Naira is approaching its 1K. That is double interest money for the Americans. Exactly. People perish for lack of knowledge. What this man is saying is actually not correct for us as a nation. I think it is because he makes a good puppet. He will soon be overthrown once the youths find out that he is a sellout. He is already a sellout. President Tinubu will not reintroduce fuel subsidy. Fuel subsidy has gone and gone forever. And you are happy because you are going to suffer and you are happy with your suffering. Quite interesting. So this is what is happening, that the US is happy with the collapse of Nigerian economy because it benefits them the more. So thank you for listening and let's have a comment in this matter.